know if you spotted Soros's dehydrated scrotal screed about his former Sino-socialist allies, but folks, it is officially fucking cool to commie hate again. The media gave us permission. Well, provided it ain't a South American commie dictatorship, that is. Let's not get goddamn crazy here. Biden loves him some Argentinian anarchists, and if Castro had crammed fruit in his fucking anus, Obama would have bobbed for bananas. Well, he's had years of practice with fucking Michelle. If by some fluke of fate, or because you avoid social media like the pinko pox because your IQ is above a low-grade fever, you have no idea what the fuck I'm even talking about here, my apologies. I am about to remind you of every childhood horror in Henson's Creature Shop you've ever suppressed from your adolescent memory.
Xi Jinping has done his best to dismantle Deng Xiaoping's achievements.
That's a mug you don't want to chug. Knock it off, Larry.
He brought private companies established under Deng under the control of the CCP and undermined the dynamism that used to characterize them. Rather than letting private enterprise blossom, Xi Jinping introduced his own China dream that can be summed up in 2 words: total control. That has had disastrous consequences.
Pause to let the screams subside. Got it? Crisis counseling concluded? Bitchin'. Let us put aside that he looks like he chose the wrong grail, because if you can peer past the fucking Fright Night trailer and actually analyze what Hoggle's hawking here, it appears that after 25 unremitting years of the Mono Party monging the nuts of the Red Chinese, they've now given us all permission to hate their goddamn guts again. Oh, cute, sweet Soros. It's adorable you think we're asking permission. But as we all know, it isn't just Emperor Adrenochrome who stopped kicking it with the communist Chinese. After ages of agonizing prostration, removing their beloved bisexual subplots for the Chinese market, and airbrushing African Americans out of the fucking Star Wars posters, Hollywood done crossed the CCP off the Christmas card list too, with Variety and The Hollywood Reporter penning numerous stink pieces several months back on the so-called strained relationship between Tinseltown and Tiananmen Square. But in Hollywood's case, the decision damn near made itself, because after 15 plus fucking years of mainstream media puff pieces about how China was the living embodiment of Hollywood's future, and X or Y interchangeable superhero horseshit made a killing of Waco proportions in China after languishing in the States, turns out like anything else you read in the news, it had the credibility of a one-legged kickboxing coach. In short, after Hollywood investing billions into this Bolshevik shit show under the promise that one sweet, distant day, righteous motherfuckloads of Chi-Com cash would be their eternal reward, the appointed date arrived and they got $15 on a Target gift card for their trouble. China was always a Marxist mirage. Now watch my China the Paper Dragon rant for further extrapolation on this topic, but for all the media's chest beating and bloviating about how China are poised to overtake the US, even in our current divided BLM and Antifa infested present state, we outstrip China militarily, economically, and in every other appreciable respect. And to put it bluntly as a wrench to the fucking face, China's debt and unfunded liabilities are rising like Pelosi's eyebrows. So that explains the Lexus liberals in Hollywood, but what the fuck about Soros and all the establishment interests he fucking funds? After over 2 decades selling our secrets to the socialist autocracy, why the shriveled about face? Well, after turning deplatforming people for suggesting the coup originated in a lab into a fucking art form, turns out YouTube were wrong all along. The CDC and WHO now openly concede the commie cough likely did, in fact, originate in a Wuhan lab, making the misinformation deplatformings of untold assloads of otherwise innocent YouTube channels, including myself, outright fucking fallacious for those keeping score at home. And if you pay attention to the croakings of Soros himself, you'll see what the play is here. As with all well-engineered deceptions, there's a light peppering of fucking truth here. The Chinese are responsible for the COVID outbreak and have been irascibly obfuscative in its aftermath, clinging to the Wuhan wet market and batch soup bullshit long after it ceased to be remotely fucking believable, which begs an infinitely more obvious question. If Ginny the Pooh's such a prick, Why have you all uniformly supported him since his ascent until now? Whatever the answer, I'm certain as can be, it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that shortly after the Wuhan lab leak went from theory to possibility to carefully concealed fucking fact, the accompanying knowledge that the gain-of-function research that produced the pandemic was funded in the West by establishment interests. And remind me what baggy-eyed Bolshevik billionaire funds every solitary endeavor that fits that fucking description? Yeah, consider that goat scaped, my fucking friends. They'd have thrown Winnie the Pooh under the bus ages ago if the bus weren't made in fucking China. The CCP are indeed assholes, the biggest by far in this entire situation. But if we let floppy-jowled political parasites like Soros skate on their role in funding this fucking shit, or perhaps more likely funding the candidacy or appointment of fuckwits like Fauci, who funded it in his stead, this discovery, rather ironically, gains no fucking function. We get it, you fucking fallout ghoul. You are making a pretty penny betting against US currency, buying off every businessman in China to bankroll your Bond villain space utopia, and now that the Reds remembered their Reds and started cracking down on their perversion of capitalism to retain one-party control, you're pissed your heart will stop beating before you can place bets against America again. Tough shit, you shambling half-dead despot. In the immortal words of Master Splinter, death comes to us all, but something much worse comes for you. For when you die, it will be without honor. Don't let the casket lid hit you on the way out, asshole. I'm Razor Fist. God fucking speed.
We're out of control, living on tragedies. No one's to blame. It's a miracle, 'cause we're out of control, living on tragedies. No one's to blame. It's always the same.
What were you thinking?
Well, you said you wanted gritty. In other words, ugly.
I wanted Marianne on Gilligan's Island ugly, not Cornelius on the Planet of the Apes ugly. TV ugly, not ugly ugly.